All right. Hey guys, Ryan Steinolfson here with Accelerate Marketing, and today I've got Sam Mollaei on for the second time, for good reason, because I definitely want to talk about some of what we've been talking about offline since our last call. You've got some really exciting strategies that you're implementing, and for you guys that don't know Sam, he's got his own practice. He's an attorney. And he's also got MyLegalAcademy, which is a great group of attorneys that he coaches. And his practice is Mollaei Law. And for you guys that don't know me, hopefully most of you guys do. It's Ryan Steinolfson with Accelerate Marketing. We've been helping businesses basically crush it online with their local businesses for over 15 years. And definitely looking forward to talking to Sam today. And Sam, glad to have you.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let's open up some minds today.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, and anything else you want to share about yourself, feel free. I definitely, I don't want to, I know that, that you've been working on the, a lot. And last time we spoke, we talked a lot about, we talked a little bit about local service ads and Google Business Profile Optimization and a lot of different topics. I think that, you in your legal academy, you really help a lot of business owners, a lot of attorneys specifically, to do exactly what you just said, to really open up their mind to new opportunities, new strategies. And, I'm wondering right now, what is one of the most interesting strategies that you've seen? I know one of them that I've seen, and I've heard you talking about it, is we talked a little about using artificial intelligence. I'm wondering on the scale, on your scale, do you think that that's really? I see that as being just pivotal, like the progress that you've made with AI from some of our first conversations, even 2 or 3 months ago, to now, where you're able to you're able to do what you're able to do. So with that, I'll let you either go into that or anything that you see that is are really are strategies that are working right now for you.
So my bread and butter is right now, it has been ads. So the question is that we try to delve in is how to use AI to be able to boost your ad performance. Will be a pretty fun topic. So what I've seen is when it comes to ads, usually basically the creative is the biggest factor, right, Ryan? So that's where we have the leverage to be ahead of our competitors, do things outside the box, be smarter. So that's where I kind of lean in on the creative side. So the strategy that has worked for me, especially in the last year, has been taking winners from outside of my space and taking those same frameworks that has proven to be the winner for other people and applying that in your space with your own nuances, with your own secret sauce, with your own data, and also, even more importantly, with your own prospects language or data that you may have from your own existing leads recently in the last 3 months. So what does that mean? That means you see an ad, again, usually outside of your space, usually from somebody who's a bigger, much bigger company. Usually big companies have really figured out the secret sauce of things. And if it's a video, what you can do is you could get the transcription of the video by using actually an AI tool called Mac Whisper, which is on a Mac, or I'm sure there's plenty of transcription services. You pull out the transcript, you go into ChatGPT, and you go to a conversation that already knows about your company or your law firm, whatever you do, and you say, hey, this video ad script is doing really well. Using the same framework, do the same thing for me for my practice area or for my company. And using that framework, whether it be the formulaic, maybe there's some urgency as the hook, or maybe using comparisons, that might be the secret sauce that the script has. But it applies that to your own practice type. And again, especially if you already fed it your own information, then it will give you very custom video script that also uses the winning framework. and all of a sudden, when you put up this ad, a lot of times your prospects don't realize that, on the back end, you used a winning formula with your own specific words. And now you have a huge boost in conversion rates just because, it's already been proven to work. So that has
Wow.
proved to be super fruitful.
Wow. That's awesome. Because I mean, wait, what you're saying is just here's what's working based on what you're seeing in the results and what you're seeing these bigger businesses that have huge budgets putting money behind. So they've done all the hard work to identify the script that's actually converting, and you're just saying, okay, let's take out the transcript from that video and ChatGPT, here's a transcript. Apply this winning formula for this video to my business, whether that's helping businesses with their Google Business Profile and local service ads optimization or whatever it is. For you guys, it's, all types of attorneys, estate attorneys, immigration attorneys, etc. So it's just it's the structure, the same structure that is winning for them. And then you just basically say, okay, give me the script, and then I can recreate the video. And how are you creating that video? Is it just are you using like a teleprompter or to just read it?
For the actual creating the creatives, what you want to do is just have an assortment of different creatives. So, getting the
Okay.
video made, just like if you get in front of the camera, that's just type A. You could also hire for it. You could
Yep.
also create some AI generated videos, which is basically just AI voiceovers over B-rolls and texts. That also has proved to be fruitful. But at that point, I'm not tied to any type
Yeah.
of creative. It's just about how can I create different combinations, and especially obviously if you also apply it to whatever the format that you saw it in, that also should give you the good indication of what it should look like. But again, obviously you don't want to take the exact same thing, but you apply it to whatever you already know that works in your space, and you rinse and
Yeah.
repeat.
Wow. That's awesome. And that's really what ChatGPT is really good for, is like finding out what the formula is and then trying to basically replicating it and just using that for the creative. Are you doing that for images as well, or just videos?
Oh yeah, totally. Because the images usually, I've never seen an image without any text do well. So it's usually the image has some kind of text. So you take that text, you pull that out, and say using this framework, what should the text say on this kind of type of image. So yeah, images as well, for sure.
Yeah. Wow. And then this same principle applies to setting up artificial intelligence for intake. So what we're talking to a lot of business owners about now is, who is your best intake person in your practice, and then taking their scripts and then feeding that to ChatGPT and saying, "Hey, this is the guy that's the number one intake person or customer service person. ChatGPT, create a an agent that follows this same process, which is very similar to what you're talking about for videos." And you've gotten, I mean, it sounds like, I mean, you're getting great results because that's really the opportunity. And this is what Sam Altman said is, you know, you can create a agent that is a specialist for any vertical. And if you go after a vertical, that's really the opportunity right now, is being an expert in one or more verticals, or maybe it's just, attorneys in general, and going as deep as you can in that vertical to create multiple different agents to do different things, for that business, for that practice, so that they're all working together. You might have one for invoicing, you might have one eventually for, intake, one for customer service, one for referrals, and they all speak together. What's been amazing for me is the fact that you're able to get cases signed, with your AI, and that is pretty amazing. That you, if you under, and this just goes to show you, because people think that cannot happen at this level right now that ChatGPT or that the AI is at. And it absolutely can if you know the process, like intimately, if you know it very, very well. And I think that really what is that the secret sauce, is just knowing what that process is, or what do you think it takes to be able to have the AI sign cases without a human intervention?
So what I've learned, and we're about 4 or 5 months in, yeah, 5 months into this already, into this intake AI kind of solution. What I've learned is that it's relatively easy to set up, but it's just like most things in life. It's not about setting it up, but it's about staying on top of it, optimizing it, and managing it, and improving things and tweaking things as you go along. Right, right, right. It's easy to launch a Google Ads campaign or
Yes.
whatever, but it's about overseeing it. So I would say 95% of the effort
Yes.
comes from on the back end. So that's one. Let's just get that out of the way. Second is it requires
Yep.
somebody to be the manager, to continuously, on a minimum on a weekly basis, if not ideally daily basis, who's reviewing the conversations and
Mm.
seeing how the AI is interacting with the prospects, tracking conversion rates to
Yes.
see what the responsiveness is like.
Yes.
Are there people responding? Are there not? Is shorter text working? Longer text working? Is asking a question better? Putting in the form of statement is better. Providing options for time availabilities, or is it just better to send a link? All this stuff is little nuances, and
Yeah.
also your prospects is also very prospect dependent. Just say, one practice type might lead to these types of people who want to get things done quicker versus people who are maybe a little bit more older, may need more explanation. So, for people that are
Yeah.
doing this or considering doing this, is you need to have work with a company that goes into the nitty gritty and works with you on a very close weekly basis, at least, to continuously optimizes these
Yeah.
things. But I do
Yeah.
think over time it does require one vertical practice specialty to be able to do it successfully. If you have somebody who's just trying to make it work with multiple practice types, that won't get that expertise that it takes, that I think that it requires to be able to do this successfully long term. But yeah, become an
Wow.
expert in one practice type to make this happen.
Wow. And so for you, that's estate. I mean, that's estate law for your practice, right? So
No. I have one practice type that we're applying it to, and then again, that became our specialty at this point. And we just dedicate all of our attention
okay.
to that one practice type, and we're not even considering anything else. So if anybody who's doing it, again, just try to Ryan, I think it's like an interesting topic, is either marketers or whoever, whether attorney is even in a niche anymore. I don't think it is anymore. I think we're past that. So I think it's very important to be practice specific niches, become an expert in one
Yeah.
practice type.
Yeah.
So you go become an expert in that
Wow.
niche before you start serving everybody.
Wow. Yeah, I agree. And that's exactly what Sam said, is like go deep into a specific vertical. Like, it's and it's interesting to hear that you're saying that it's the follow-up. It's the listening to the calls, like listening to the calls to see what happened on the calls so that it can be even more, specialized. And yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and you're the way that you're leveraging it and how you're really, it does take more time, I think, than people think. I mean, if you set up, I do think that there's a way for business owners to set up a basic agent. If they're just, I guess, let me ask you this: do you think that if somebody's just going to use an agent to make sure that their response time is handled for local service ads, to make sure that just the simple things like the phone's being answered, that the agent is gathering the information, and that it's sending a notification to the business owner. If we're just talking about those three things in order to optimize the LSAs for response time, what do you think about that?
It's an interesting question. Is it better than not having it? Sure. But long-term sustainably, you need somebody who can work with you to optimize it and oversee it and manage it. It's just like
Yep.
I think about any other kind of marketing, Google ads or Facebook ads. set it up. Let's just say you launch, let's just say Facebook ads, something that some people can understand, or a lot of people can understand, is you just create a campaign and you turn it on and you don't look at it for a month. Your money's gonna get burnt. So same thing, your leads are gonna get burnt if it's not set up correctly. It's gonna say the wrong thing. There won't be follow through, all that stuff. So I would say it just requires somebody to oversee it on a ideally daily basis.
Yeah, I agree. And so, I mean, it's like, okay, just go really deep in those verticals and find out exactly what that process is to get the result, and then just really, refine it over time. And
Yeah.
yeah.
And even the vertical, we mentioned the vertical, niching down in vertical, but what I'm trying to say is go even deeper than one vertical. So you pick the vertical, great, that's layer one, but now go serve one type of client in that vertical. Let's just say, very simple, let's just say you help entrepreneurs. Well, obviously, entrepreneurs is the vertical, and then you have people that start a business, that are starting a business, entrepreneurs. Okay, great, that's layer two. But even if you go deeper, let's just say people that are e-commerce, that are looking to start a business, that are entrepreneurs, great. That's when you have a niche, a good enough niche to go double down on.
Got it. Like like you've got service-based businesses, like, blue collar businesses, plumbers. You could you could make it plumbers. You could make it, like I've got a colleague that works with bed bug, guys, and so like working with those type of verticals, I think would be really good. And maybe there's even one that's even, deeper than that. But I hear what you're saying. I mean, it's yeah, it's even more specialized. If there's a subcategory. So that's really good. That's really good insight. What else has been, I mean, I could just, man, I could talk about this topic all day, but I mean, it's, what I think the thing is that people don't think that that it can actually happen. And I'm constantly, people are constantly surprised when I share with them that this is even possible, because everybody thinks that their process is too complicated to actually make it so that the AI can handle it and sign somebody up.
It's only complicated if it may seem complicated because they never went through the effort or the trouble to go set it up. Everything, the mindset is everything is possible when it comes to tech. And the people who kind of fight it just haven't wrestled enough with it, and their mind hasn't really seen what's possible. But no, the possibilities are literally infinite.
Yeah. And what else, I guess right now, what else is working for you guys, in your community? What else are you seeing that's working? I know for us, we're just, we're giving a lot of, free information. We just started our own school community, and we've got like a free 2 hours of content. And then, once people consume that to understand like the Google local service ad side and then the Google business profile side, then they can go to the done with you, and they pay for that. And then there's the done for you, which is our services. So that that's a model that's been used for a long time. And I just I'm wondering if how do you have people enter into your world, for your business?
So
Not the attorney, but like for the
for the law firms,
go ahead.
is it for our law
No, not
firms
for the law firms, but for your academy. For your academy.
So what I realize is information is plentiful, but a lot of people have trouble implementing. Right, that's where the growth happens. Actually implementing all the information that's shared available, that's shared everywhere. So what I did was my focus turned into all information that I created in the past 5 years, 6 years, is now for free. By all means, these things took me literally millions of dollars of money to figure things out. a lot of my time, resources, my team's time to create these SOPs, Google Docs, and everything that I've built over the years. But you know what? If I don't share it, someone else probably will from a different angle. So might as well let me be the giver. So just today, Ryan, there's a Google sheet that I created of all of literally the most comprehensive lawyer Google sheet that you could ever get your hands on, which is, it has a list of all the top tools, all the best sources for hiring, all the best Google, Chrome extensions, best Mac apps, everything you could possibly ever imagine when it came for being a lawyer. It's in this one Google sheet, and I use this sheet for myself to scratch my own niche. And then, when I created my program, that was one of the most valuable things that I shared inside of our program. But now, just today, just posted it on my LinkedIn. Hey, if you want this link, go grab it.
Wow.
And I even just linked it out to one of the tabs. But if people go look at all the other 20 other tabs, they'll see that this resource is crazy. So again, the idea is just information galore. Let's give it all away. But on the back end, the implementation, which is basically setting up everything that I talk about or share. That we have law firm growth implementers who come set up all these things for you, whether it be your marketing, your automations, your integrations, your CRM, your helping you hire, AI tools, different, and a lot of different things in between. We have people who are dedicated to that expertise for those specific mini verticals that could come set up all these things for you. And now the mindset has been the value. I'm not the source of value anymore. My resources, things that I talk about is value, but on the back end, the true value on the back end is people join our company, they become a client, then our implementers provide the value. So I've kind of stepped away as the back end value, and it's been our amazing team that's been providing that value.
Yeah, that is exactly the model that a lot of people that I just went to a business meeting in Belfast, and with Ted Carr. I don't know if you know Ted Carr, but it was interesting because he does the exact same thing. He had exactly a Google Doc that he just gave away, and it literally has all of their like all their resources, everything that. It's funny because my team, I share some of the stuff, and they're like, "You can't share that. That's like our, unique selling proposition. That's like our, our IP. It's our intellectual property." And it's really interesting to see that how things are shifting. It's really just people are paying for the proximity and the implementation of it, and that's really interesting to see because that's shifting very, very fast. And it used to be that there was more value placed in the information, and that's really because information is becoming so easy to access, that it's I think it's really just I just want to get it done type thing, and how can you help me get it done faster, and that's really what people are paying for. So that's interesting. And
And
so
by the
for
way,
your and I
just to add
noticed,
that thing,
in yeah.
so you mentioned I just want to get it done faster. I feel like people that also say that are not the implementers, because if they would have done it, they would have just done it. So it seems like the people
Yeah.
don't want it faster. They just want it either done or done. There's no, there's no either
Yeah.
I would have done it
Yeah.
myself or
Yeah.
getting it done faster. Like I feel like that's just a little excuse that I that I kind of sense.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like they want to be held accountable, and they want to like be walked through the process, to know so that it can be done, and yeah, that's very interesting. And I'm wondering, I did notice, I went to your website for your practice, and I think we talked a little bit about this last time, but your reviews, like you've got so many reviews. I mean, I know that, and one of the things that I found interesting, and I think and I'm wondering about this for, one of the things that we're developing to make it easier is we're leveraging AI to send a text out. And one of the things that you brought up is when you try to get a review, first you ask if it's okay to send a request for review, and you were saying that increases your conversion rate significantly. So it's just asking if it's okay to send a link, or and then you send it, and then your conversion, it goes out a lot. So what we're doing is we're leveraging AI to make those outbound phone calls, and to get reviews, because that's one of the, as you know, that's one of the 3 R's for the local service ads optimization, is reviews, radius, response rate. And so that is one of the things that we're doing, to get that done. And we're actually having it make an outbound phone call potentially. Are you leveraging AI to make outbound phone calls at all?
We are kind of the first layer of this AI interacting with prospects is via text. That one is the easiest one to set up. Then layer 2 is voice, and I think layer 3 will be via email. So yes, right now have set this up. We're kind of optimizing it, things. I kind of have to get an update about how it's going so far, and then to what extent is it being used. Is it being used for outbound, or is it for inbound? And what else is capable of? It's interesting. Ryan, what's your experience with voice AI?
Yeah, it's the open rate is not as much as we thought it was going to be. And so it's definitely an interesting area that a lot of people are wanting to know more information about. We've been treading very lightly on it, because it's like, we just want to make sure that it's done correctly, because first of all, we're not going to send it out to, like, the whole list at one time. We want to make sure it's just going out, to a segment of it, to make sure that we're able to monitor it, like you were talking about earlier, is monitoring is super important. So that's been not a lot of experience. We've really just been focusing on the intake, because we put the AI on the other. And that's another question I had for you, is in terms of your inbound phone calls, is setting up the right plumbing for the AI. Are you having the AI take all of your intake calls right from the beginning, or are you setting up the plumbing, so to speak, with CallRail or Go High Level or whatever, in order to make sure that there's a 20-second delay, so that the human intake gets the first 20 seconds and then the AI gets the last 10 seconds? Or how are you setting that up?
We apply a certain percentage. We apply AI to a certain percentage of our new leads, basically. So first, let's just say we start off with like 10% of our leads getting that AI touch, and then as we optimize things and as we become more confident, then we try to get to 100%. And right now, we just signed a deal to be able to get it up to 100%, and I was kind of leading our team to make sure that we get to 100% as quick as possible, because I know the quicker we could get there, the more competitive advantage we have, and the higher conversion rates we can have, and the less intakers we could have over time, which saves us on the cost on the back end. So the game is on. I think we're probably.
So you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is awesome. If you're saying that you are getting really close to, so what it sounds like, first of all, what you're doing is that you are giving a certain percentage of calls to the AI, instead of having the human intake get the first 20 seconds, and then after that letting the AI take the last 10, which, by the way, we set that 30-second delay up,
Not
where we make it so that we.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's not what I mean. I mean that AI interacts. Let's just say we start off with 10% of our leads get interactive with the AI, not necessarily breaking down the call to 10% of the calls and then 90% of the backend. No, actually, like doing what we do is we use AI to basically qualify and see if the lead is available for a call. So 10%, we start off with 10% of the leads having that kind of interaction.
Okay. Got it. Okay. So that's awesome. So you want to get to 100% of the calls being able to be taken by the AI eventually, is your goal.
Correct. Probably in the next 30 to 45 days, I imagine will happen.
Wow. And that's from, like, so there's no intake in that situation.
No, there'll still be intake. It'll just be much less intakers. So we imagine probably we're anticipating half as many intakers will be with us probably in a couple of months, at least for these two law firms. But that also means if you're an intaker, you better be good, because I could definitely imagine, average or below average intakers will be replaced by AI. But we still need the good intakers to be able to oversee and manage, and maybe do the follow-ups, or manage the entire relationship. Still, no matter what.
Okay, and and the other question is how do you charge for that now? Because in essence, what you're doing is you're replacing, let's say somebody's got 5 intake people. Do you just say, okay, we'll just charge, we'll charge you what, you would normally have paid for 3 intake people? Or how do you charge for that?
Right. Charge for what when it comes to clients? What do you mean?
For the AI. If you're charging clients for it, how do you charge for AI replacing people on intake?
Well, there's different models. The model that we found is usually the model is based on performance, and the ultimate performance is client signups.
Mm-hmm.
So we tied in to basically the number of client signups.
Got it. Okay, that makes complete sense. So you're charging based on client signups, and you had mentioned earlier that it's really important that
we at this point we're not the one charging, we're the one paying.
Okay, you're the one paying because somebody else is implementing it for you. Got it. Okay, so what you're doing is you're paying for basically results, which is great. And that's I think that's the best way to do it. It's really just to pay for the results. And I was going to ask you something else, but I forgot what it was. But it sounds like, I mean, if you're able to pay for results. Oh, the other question I was going to say is the percentages. One of the things that I would track, if I were you or any business owner, is to track the percentage of calls that are taken by AI that are actually converted into new business versus calls that are answered by humans.
Yeah, that's that's the main KPI that we measure from day one. It's to give us the confidence of to be able to increase what percentage of our leads that we're willing to give to AI versus a human intaker. Without that number, we would not feel confident, setting up more and more AI into our system, because we're, number one, we're spending a good amount of money on ads, on marketing, and two, even bigger, is the opportunity cost. Every day that we're not signing up the same number of clients that we would be with the intaker, then we're losing that much money on the back end, which is literally millions of dollars. So you need to, anybody who is setting it up or is being set up, you need to have clarity. This is your conversion rate, Mr. Bob. I set this up for you. Out of your 10 leads before we came to you, you used to get a 20% conversion rate. Now we're looking at 30% conversion rate, 10%, 50% increase to your conversion rate from going from 20 to 30% means 50% more revenue in your pocket. So if you're making about $100,000 a month, that means $50,000. So, you got to talk in those kind of metrics, especially if you're talking to people who are sophisticated enough to be able to set these things up and, get this set up for you.
Wow. So are you able, this is the ultimate question. So are you able to get a better conversion rate from AI humans?
Well, the fact that we went from 10% to now we're going for 100% should give you the answer.
There you go, guys. Wow. That's, I don't really know. I mean, you're probably,
The important part, Ryan, again, is you need to have that person who's on it like a hawk. Again, on both sides, both from the company who's setting it up and also somebody on the law firm side who's dedicated to manage this and work with the partner to be able to, see this through. If not, again, this is going to be one of those dead ends. I know how it goes because I've been on the other side. It's like somebody that sets up Google Ads, 2 months in, I'm not getting any calls. They're like, Mister, first of all, you are getting calls. You're just not picking up the phone call, or if when you're picking up the phone call, you're not doing a good job of intaking, and then that becomes like a pointing game. And at that point, the relationship falls through. It requires that two-way partnership and management and accountability from both sides to make this work.
Yep. Wow. I mean, it's interesting to see, because we're at the point now where we could go very broad and very non-specific, just to give people an AI agent that would give them more leads on local service ads, which we're doing, and it's working. Because what we're finding is that, or what we found is that when we improve the response rate, which we track in our software, for the message leads, and we also improve the response rate for voice, that the business gets a 50, 60, 70, 80, 100% increase in the number of leads, and or more in like 2 or 3 months with local service ads. And that a lot of times is all that the business owner is looking for. And so we can meet that need that they have, and at least get the information from the person in order to get the person to be able to be followed up with a human, like, quickly. Because as you know, with local service ads, the notifications are not that good. The notifications for local service ads don't really work that well. So we feel like by sending the notifications out, because LSA is getting rid of the app, the local service ads app, in like less than a month. And so now that app's not even going to be there. So the only way that a business owner can respond to message leads is, I mean, in my opinion, the only way they're going to be able to compete is with some sort of AI to be able to respond at least to the message leads, which, by the way, we see the highest correlation with lead volume in local service ads is when you actually improve the message lead response rate. So that's why we're actually running the AI for our LSA businesses, and it's helping so much because it's giving them what they want, which is just more of these very inexpensive leads. And they also get the benefit of being able to go 24 hours, because now they've got the AI and not a call center. And they get the notifications, so that they can follow up quickly. And that's what's working for us. And I like what you're saying. I didn't, people were saying that it's not possible. Admittedly, we have not gotten that deep with any particular vertical to be able to get what you're talking about, which is a better conversion rate from AI versus humans. And I don't think there's many businesses out there that could say what you just said about, I mean, like, I don't think that anybody even thinks that that's possible right now. I mean, it's like, so that right there alone is very new information for a lot of business owners, and I'm glad. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and Ryan,
No, it
if you
is
don't
for
mind,
me.
I'm just gonna end with this. What you just shared, Google LSA plus AI who responds via who responds to messages or calls via AI is a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer because, again,
Yeah.
I know what it's like to
Yeah.
be on both sides, on the marketer side and also on the client side. Google LSA is the biggest factor, and Ryan could tell you about this all day long, is responsiveness. And just for that reason by itself, it's basically pays for it and some, let alone all the extra reasons, which is increased conversion rates and more clients, obviously. So anybody who is doing Google LSA or is not doing Google LSA, go do Google LSA with Ryan with AI. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, no, thank you. And then and we've also we're yeah, no, I mean, it's just interesting. I mean, because we've thought about all these different ways to do it, and I appreciate that, that endorsement. And let's see, we might have I think that okay. Yeah, I want to wrap it up. I appreciate you, Sam. And I hope I didn't like push the envelope too much and like ask
No,
you,
you're good.
like anything that was really too poignant. Okay, good. So I really appreciate you, man. And I appreciate, what you're doing and your transparency. And if anybody has any questions, please leave them. If you want to get a hold of us, you can go to you can call us 619-304-5155. post a comment in the video. Sam, any parting comments at all?
No, if you're a lawyer and you've been following Ryan for some time, definitely go to mylegalacademy.com, book a call to speak to us. We have a proven program that helps lawyers with all aspects of growing and automating your law firm. And if you're not doing Google LSA already, there's no reason why you shouldn't go with Ryan. He's the expert in this. And there's very few people that do this long term, and Ryan is one of those very few unicorns who is.
Yeah. Thanks, bro. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. I appreciate you. All right. Bye-bye.